Good morning, everybody, and a Wednesday morning is here upon us. We have a lot to cover. There's going to be a super long video tomorrow. So today's video, again, I'm trying to keep it under 15 minutes. There's just so much. So let's just jump in and get there, shall we? Let's go. We're going to start off with Charles and Camilla. They arrived in Rome for the state visit to Italy. They got an escort from Italian fighter jets. Well, that's thrilling. This is going to be a 4-day state visit. Remember, the visit to the Vatican was canceled due to the Pope's ill health. They came off the plane looking refreshed, love it, and they were greeted by dignitaries, including the UK's ambassador to Italy. They also met with the Foreign Secretary, David Lammy, who is going to be accompanying them on their 4-day tour. Let me also just say that because they didn't go to the Vatican, some other things were moved around, but this actually worked in their favor because it gives the two of them a little time to pace themselves, because remember, Charles was just in the hospital, so therefore they can go a little slower. This visit is to strengthen the ties between the UK and Italy, and there's going to be a lot going on over the next 4 days, and Charles is set to make history because he will be the first British monarch to address the Italian Parliament. So I want you guys to remember that I do work 24 hours behind. That way I can make sure to get all the information, all the pictures, and I can keep up with everything. So as of I'm showing you this today, their arrival at the airport is all we're going to cover. Tomorrow's video is going to be a lot longer because there's a lot going on today. I'm just glad that they got there safely and everybody looks good. All right, let's move on. So the next thing that happened was Buckingham Palace released some new photos of Charles and Camilla that were taken in Italy as soon as they touched down, commemorating their 20th wedding anniversary. I think these are absolutely gorgeous photos, and I think you can tell from the photos that the two of them are still as much in love as they always were. All right, let's continue. Prince Harry actually went to the UK for his court case. He arrived just a few hours before Charles jetted off to Italy. Interestingly enough, we don't know how he got there. I'm willing to bet a finger that he went by private jet. We all know Harry applied, he was denied, he's appealed, he's just not going to stop. Now, they're giving numerous different reasons for this. And one of them they're saying is that he is supporting his UK charities that he has left, which are Well Child, Scotty's Little Soldiers, and the Invictus Games. And he can't commit to supporting those unless he can do it, unless it's safe for him and everyone. And that's why you only see him for a day here and there. I don't believe that for a second. Now they're trying to say that it's for the children. He can't take his children to the UK. It would be more if he got his security. Let's be honest, you guys. Nobody in the royal family wants to see him. Nobody cares at this point. He's been deemed untrustworthy. Nobody in that family knows his children. Nobody has a relationship with him or his children. And I have to say, I think the fact that Meghan has been putting the children up on Instagram is going to hurt this case, because after all, he can't show the children. He can't do any of this because of their safety. And yet his wife is using the children to merch her products. So I think that it's going to be a big nothing burger. I have to be honest. I don't think that he's going to win his case. I just don't think it's going to happen. The filings in court is Harry is claiming that he was not informed about how decisions about his security, how they were being done, and he didn't get a chance to make his own case or see the risk assessments which might have been carried out. The filing says that his security is being provided on a case-by-case basis by Ravick, and he has to give 28 days notice. We know that. And also that he's unhappy with that decision. This is the part that gets me. They're saying that Harry still hasn't been given the risk analysis, even though he's had recent security incidents. One of them being a call by Al-Qaeda for him to be murdered because he was stupid enough to put his kill count in his book, The Spare. And also the quote-unquote paparazzi chase that happened in May in New York when they were pursued. Now, this is the interesting part. In case you guys have forgotten what happened there, Harry and Meghan were supposedly pursued by the paparazzi because their security took them out of their blacked out SUVs and stuck them in a taxi cab. Harry looked genuinely stricken. Meghan looked like the cat who ate the canary. Harry's then demanded the pictures from Backgrid. Backgrid said no. And then in December, Harry was trying to pressure the police to make arrests because he knew the security case was coming up. That happened, remember, May of 2023. In December of 2024, he was like, you guys, there's a cover-up. I've been misled. There's a suspicion. And then the guy actually reached out to Governor Newsom, their good buddy, to direct them what was next to do. As I've told you in previous videos, 3 law enforcement officials told NBC News that this was not a chase. New York Mayor Eric Adams cast doubt on the claims and no arrests were made. In September 2023, the NYPD sent a letter to London's police stating the behavior in question was reckless, but there was going to be no arrests. The second letter, however, showed up in December of 2023 saying there was now sufficient evidence to arrest 2 individuals. However, it never happened. And that letter suddenly, showed up during the 3-day High Court hearing where Harry sought to compel the British government to give him full security, and it failed. Some more claims from Harry, by the way, is that he was singled out for different, unjustified, and inferior treatment. And if you can believe this, his attorney said, be careful of the impact on the UK's reputation if there is a successful attack. Another interesting point the Royal Grift pointed out, the same justice who went over Meghan's case and where she committed perjury and won is the same one who's presiding over Harry's case. I hope they ask him why he chose to stay in hotels with his personal security instead of on secure palace grounds every time he was offered. All right, let's move on. God, what a loser. All right, let's move on now. Meghan Markle was being mocked on a show, Have I Got News for You? And the stars were talking about the brand and the Netflix show. Here, listen to this.
$14. That's £10.80.
It's immediately sold out.
Yes.
Which I thought was good, unless there's only 2 jobs.
Yes.
Think of it as our time capsule.
I think you're being rather cynical. I think you would make a lovely holder for writs from charities that your husband works for. At one point she said, a brilliant thing you can do is serve pretzels, and she got out a bag of pretzels and then poured it into another bag and then put it on the table. That was it. That was cooking.
It's bees. Well, she says she keeps bees, but she held each honeycomb like it was covered in. It's like I love coming out and just getting in touch with nature, and you can just see she's about to throw up because.
Now, if you think it was all about Meghan, think again, because of course Simpsonville was brought up and that whole debacle, everything was brought up. It is what it is. Now, a lot of people have said that Meghan's jam jelly spread, whatever you want to call it, is runny. There's no seeds, no texture, just liquid red sugar water. And what they're saying is that that's because it's not jam. Even though Meghan calls it jam, my jam is my jam. It's not jam, it's spread. Now, as I told you in yesterday's video, she found a distributing company to make something and stick her name on it, but then at the bottom there was a thing that said she's not responsible. Keep in mind that it says on the As Ever website that this spread is, quote, inspired by the recipe Meghan crafted in her kitchen. In other words, guys, it's not the same thing. She found somebody to slap something together, put her name on it, and send it out, which is also why it says that Meghan is not responsible for the products. In other words, if you don't like it or you get sick or something happens, don't go to Meghan because she's not responsible. So with the jam not selling well, with Simpsonville and all the issues that's going on there, what's coming out is people are saying the Queen was absolutely right, that a hybrid role was dangerous. Remember, Harry and Meghan wanted to commercialize the royal family, and the Queen said no. And this is exactly what's happening now with Harry and Meghan, is exactly the sort of thing that the Queen was trying to avoid. Exactly the thing she told them not to do. That's what happened with the polo match. Dr. Sophie Chanduka thought it was going to be just presenting the trophy and it was going to be all part of the charity, and instead Meghan showed up, and now you've got all these issues with Simpsonville and blah blah blah. The Queen was absolutely right. This was a huge mistake. Now, this person on Twitter ordered products, I'm assuming. And as you can see, even the putting on of the labels was sloppily done. I mean, what happened to that attention to detail? Total change of pace now. I told you the other day about Daniel Martin. He's the new Omid Scobie, and he went on social media to slam according to Taz. Well, wouldn't you know it? Mainstream media picked it up and the Daily Mail did a whole story on it. This guy is a real piece of work. He may want to run while he has the chance. All right, let's move on now. Remember, before Meghan met Harry, she had the TIG. She called it her passion project. But Tom Bauer is saying that the content on the TIG did not always reflect Meghan's personal style, her personal life, or even her values, supposedly. It was a purely commercial venture. She understood her market and how to compartmentalize between her life and the fantasy life she offered in increasing numbers of followers. She conjured fantasies. That was her unique selling point. She used to reach out to luxury brands requesting free products in exchange for promoting them. And then, of course, she used to try to be associated with stars to build her credibility. And that was when she crossed paths with Serena Williams at that charity football match in 2014 in New York. Now, of course, on her blog, she said they hit it off immediately, etc., etc. But of course, after that, they didn't see each other for quite some time. It was just a few weeks ago, by the way, we found out that Meghan was trying to revive the TIG, and she tried to secure a trademark for it, which also did not go well. It literally is the exact same thing that she did before she met Harry. So she's gone full circle. She's gone from being an actress to a duchess, and she's back to wanting to run a website. Oh my God, it just keeps going, you guys. Now, of course, this person on Twitter brought up that maybe one of the reasons why she's not able to get the trademark on TIG is because it already existed. There was a website older than hers called the TIG, and it did the exact same thing that her website did. Absolutely amazing. Plagiarism. And a big thank you to the Royal Grift for pointing this out. When you look at some of the people that Meghan Markle has given her PR prototype boxes to, or they've been mentioned, it's a trend. Look at who they married. 8 out of the 10 diverse friends Meghan has latched onto are married to white men who back their wives' companies from a financial standpoint. Good point. And finally, and I need to point this out, it would appear that Martha Stewart, Rachel Ray, Joanna Gaines, they're saying, all of them are really ready to rip Meghan Markle a new one because she ripped her ideas off of them. They're absolutely appalled, and they're like, yeah, we got to do something about this. Here's a perfect example. Remember the pasta recipe she did on her first show? She forgot to mention that Martha Stewart did the identical recipe years earlier. And so Martha updated her recipe on her website and put the headline, the original and the best. And they're saying that the As Ever is a ripoff of Joanna Gaines' brand, Magnolia. And it probably is. Yeah, this isn't going to end well, but I'll keep an eye on this for you. Woo, I want your comments. Make them good. Don't forget to hit that like and the subscribe button and the bell for all notifications. Then go down into the description box where you'll find the link to my Twitter, my Gettr, my Rumble, my email, my Amazon wish list, a link to my father's book, which is still up for sale, and a link to my secondary channel where I'm putting up recipes and I'm talking about the animals and vacations. Everything goes on that channel. You'll also find my physical address. And for those of you who have donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.